Who that to your family? Thank you for joining Sports Coma TSC Reports today. In this special series, we'll be breaking down all of the Saints position groups, one group at a time. We did the wide receiver group. Now it's time for the quarterbacks. In this particular broadcast, we'll cover the quarterbacks. The fact that we know that Drew Brees re-signed a 2-year deal to come back for $50 million, basically taking a pay cut. A lot of people, including myself, didn't think Drew would take that pay cut. But big ups to Drew. He took that pay cut. He is back under fold. The Saints also have really surprised us later on after the draft and into the deep mist of free agency by picking up guys like Jameis Winston, signed to a $1 million 1-year prove-it deal with the Saints. Basically, he was guided and told by his good friend of his, Teddy Bridgewater, about his process of coming to New Orleans, learning behind Drew Brees and having success, enough success to get a $60 million deal from the Carolina Panthers. So very interesting, to say the least, of how this team was able, that Teddy Bridgewater was able to move into that sphere and be able to resurrect his career thanks a lot to Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints and what he showed he can do while undefeated operating the Saints offense last year. Now, outside of that, Jameis Winston is going to sit behind Drew Brees in the Teddy Bridgewater role, learn the Saints offense, but more importantly, learn how to be a professional, learn how to operate and control and move pieces around in a Hall of Fame way. And I think that's just the one ingredient that's missing from Jameis Winston to really help take his game to the levels. He has all the talent, but his issues have been here. So if he can get this straight and organized by picking up and learning where other quarterbacks have learned, like Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater, as mentioned, they can have a lot of success in the NFL. And I think that he is no different. It's really in his hands. He's the second guy that the team brought in. Then, of course, the third quarterback that was picked up by the team as well is and re-signed after being sitting out there on the tag market, was the fact that the Saints did basically put a designation, a tender, if you will, upon Taysom Hill for the summation of free agency early on. And then ultimately later on, the Saints ultimately decided to sign Taysom Hill back, giving him a 2-year deal. So he is coming back, but a lot of people don't feel necessarily completely in the quarterback role. I say not completely in the quarterback role, but a quarterback nonetheless. But we will see him more so as running back and wide receiver than actual quarterback, even though the Sean Payton did say he wants to uptick or give him more opportunities as a quarterback. We'll see about that. But Taysom Hill, in my opinion, will be used more as a third wide receiver than anything possible coming on quarterbacking plays when he goes to the Taysom Hill or the Taysom Hill package, which he runs more than passes out of that. Hopefully they can kind of balance that a little bit to give him an opportunity to throw the ball more so he can give his package more unpredictability. It's very predictable right now when Taysom Hill takes the field. You know he's going to either be a running back, and usually when he lines up at wide receiver, he is very difficult. So I say he's probably going to be the third wide receiver that you see behind Sanders and Thomas. But you should see him at some position at the quarterback position, to be honest with you. To throw the help out, throwing the deep ball, or to operate the Taysom Wildcat package that Sean Payton has become so enthralled and absolutely fell in love with. Now, outside of behind Taysom Hill, the Saints had a pretty good draft as well. Toward the back end of the draft, the Saints traded back into the 7th round and obtained Mississippi State quarterback Tommy Stevens. Now, Tommy Stevens is a guy that plays special teams. He can play at wide receiver. He can play at tight end. We even seen some stuff when the guy was actually kicking the damn ball. So, I mean, he's a very talented utility person. I don't like using gimmick. I don't like using the gimmick term. I think a more complete and concise term to use to kind of explain what a Taysom Hill is or Tommy Stevens could be is utility guys, meaning they can do a lot of different things. They don't do one thing well enough to stick with it, but they do several different things well enough to be able to impact a team. When you have a player like that who can line up and do different things, they will always have a job as long as they can do those things serviceably. And Tommy Stevens, doubt about that. They did consider him a Taysom Hill clone. But perhaps you'll see Tommy Stevens. I don't think this year at all that you'll see Tommy Stevens in any capacity as a quarterback, unless it's a utility play where the Saints then throw him the ball and he just throws it down the field like an You know, that the old QB option type plays when you throw it and then the wide receiver just throw it down the field, or something to that degree. But I anticipate Tommy Stevens playing more as a tight end behind the rest of the tight ends that the Saints have. And then, of course, perhaps even at the wide receiver position, we'll just have to see how it goes as we go into the season. But very interesting players in the QB room. Drew Brees, the Hall of Famer, leads them all. Jameis Winston, with all of the experience that he's had in 5 years of being a starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sitting behind Drew Brees once again, and similar to Teddy Bridgewater once again. And then, of course, behind him, you have the utility package and the absolute impactfulness of what Taysom Hill represents. And then even Tommy Stevens, you throw in there because he's a QB by position. So you throw him in the QB room. So very interesting room, man. And once again, the Saints have the deepest quarterback room. And at first, we was like, man, what the hell is this? Jameis Winston, which I didn't really want it because of his dysfunction in Tampa Bay. But the mindset after listening to his interviews and hearing what he's saying, how he talked to Teddy Bridgewater, and saying that he wants to resurrect his career with the Saints by sitting behind and learning from a legend. And listen, if he takes half of what Drew Brees tell him, he is going to be exponentially better than what he ever was in his career, because that's the one thing that he's missing. So I think it's an absolute steal, and it does bode well for you in the future if Jameis picks up 50% of what Drew Brees teaches him, whom Drew Brees and Jameis Winston are friends already. Jameis even lamented the fact that he said that Drew Brees, he would call him during the offseason to seek advice. Now that they're on the same team, I can only say that it's going to be a great situation for Jameis Winston. It's going to be great for the New Orleans Saints, too, to get a very talented. This guy's a former overall first round draft pick who had an extreme amount of time playing at the quarterback position. Needs a few disciplinary reorganization of his thoughts. The Hall of Famer Drew can help him with that, just like he helps so many others. And I think this will be a good move for the Saints as far as Jameis Winston. Taysom's locked down for 2 years, so there'll be an interesting competition moving forward. And of course, Tommy Stevens, the question mark is there, who I don't see him as a quarterback, more so as a wide receiver or a tight end. So this is the Saints quarterback room. This is our breakdown here on TSC. But once again, the Saints have a #1 QB room in the league, and I absolutely love it. Big ups to Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis and the rest of the terrific brass up there that's doing an excellent job putting these things together. I salute you. So this is another report from TSC. Thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe, like, and share. Join the Great Saints Think Tank group via Facebook. The link is in the description section below. Also, if you like the platform, man, share the hell out these videos. The most passionate Saints fans in the world, the spear, the plane, whatever you subscribe to, we are that. So thank you for joining us today. Check out more reports coming from TSC as we break down more positions. Our next position group breakdown will be the running backs. So thank you for joining us today. Who that to you? Peace. I'm out.
Perfect.